This is a key truck. It's a DD-51T chassis, which is a Suzuki Carry. This particular one is branded as an AutoZam Scrum. Let's take a look inside the dash here. I've got it off because I was putting AC in this truck. I had to take out the entire harness. So looking at the dash from the inside with everything dropped, I found it useful to drop the column here to get off the dash shroud. It's pretty easy, just 4 bolts there you can do from underneath. Here's the harness. From the driver's side, there's these 2 plugs that go to a harness that wraps around the front of the dash. There's a plug down here that goes to a switch on the gas pedal when it's pressed halfway. I'm told that cuts off the compressor to reduce load. Looking back there, you see a grommet that goes through the firewall. That grommet goes to the windshield wiper motor, and the headlights. To remove that harness and unplug it, it's best if you take these 4 10mm bolts off the inside of the firewall. You'll see 4 of them. And then from the front, you can lower the windshield wiper motor to get to the plug. To remove the headlight, there's 2 screws on the side of your parking lamp. You pull that out, and then 2 screws secure the headlamp. Back in the inside, the harness has attachment points on these studs along the dash. You can pop it off of those and then replace it back to keep everything snug when you're done. The harness has a branch circuit here for the low fluid indicator for the brakes. Harness goes underneath here, comes out over here. This box right here is a some kind of carb control box. Then there's a pigtail that branches off for that, which is the 4x4 controller. Then 2 pigtails here for what I believe is called the thermistor for the AC and the blower motor. And then it continues down. Actually, one big thing I forgot. It goes down here to the fuse box. The fuse box can be removed. There's a single Phillips screw on the underside, and then you can drop that and take the whole harness out. The harness then continues forward with some plugs that'll be going to the ignition here. Otherwise, it continues down underneath here and has some plugs that branch off there and a couple ground wires. Let's jump to the other side. The harness continues. In the AC model truck, like this one, this harness goes up and plugs into a sensor inside the evaporator box, and then another harness plugs into this controller, which is an AC controller. There's a plug here. These 3 larger plugs all connect to the harness that'll go to the back of the vehicle for engine control and everything in the back. Harness is getting skinnier as it continues up under the passenger footwell. We're tracing it here where it comes around. Here it branches off again to go to the headlight and parking light up front through a grommet, and then finally concludes here with a plug for the dome light. My truck just had a single dome light. There's the wire. It must ground to the metal. The harness I took out of another truck had this many wires. That's because there was a service light, like a job work light I should call it, that was mounted to the roll bar to illuminate the bed at nighttime. The harness that's not present here goes across the front of the dash. It connects things like the radio, the cigarette lighter. It goes to the blower fan control switch there and some other stuff. But here you can get a good look at the inside of what your Suzuki Carry dash looks like. You can see these cables here. If you've ever got the dash off, it's a good idea to lubricate them all. Put some lithium grease or something perhaps. You can see that everything should work nicely. Right there. Sometimes this cable will get a kink in it from someone operating it too fast. See, mine had a little kink and I bent it back and lubed everything, and it should be good. But the kink prevented this thing from opening and closing all the way. Inside there you can see your squirrel cage blower with a little piece of crud on it. Have to clean that off. All the vents hook in and stuff. So that's the AC part that makes the cold air, and then your heater core that makes the hot air is inside here, and it's got 2 lines that connect to their coolant lines up front behind the radiator. Okay, hopefully there's something useful in this video. Might show you where something is at in your truck. Okay, there we go.